Hey, good morning. My name is Grant Cohn. I cover the 49ers. Going to be doing the Cohn phone for the next hour or so. I know there's a Vikings game coming on in like 25 minutes that we want to watch, so I wanted to get the show in before then. So please try your best to keep your call to about 3 to 4 minutes out of courtesy to other people that want to get in, because I can't do this show for 2 hours today. But I got some potential topics for us to talk about. One, will the Niners lose again? They're on a 7-game win streak. They look really good. We could talk about that. We could talk about, is this the Niners' best defense ever? It's looking like it might be. We could talk about my Purdy, Joe Montana comparison. Is Brock Purdy a broke man's Joe Montana? And then finally, it seems like everyone wants to talk about the Kittle t-shirt. And remember, I said they should trade Kittle this offseason. I still feel like they should trade Kittle. I feel like Kittle, Jimmy, and Juszczyk are like they're like the most powerful clique in the locker room, and they're going to undermine any quarterback who's not Jimmy Garoppolo. So you want to talk about the Kittle t-shirt drama? I'm happy to do it. Korean 49er first as always. What's up?
I'm good, Grant. How are you?
I'm good.
I'll keep it short as you requested.
Thank you.
I do see potential for at least maybe one more loss, depending on if they can't get by beyond the second seed. That's the only way, and depending on if Kyle wants to rest starters before that first playoff game. That's the only thing I could see.
Okay. If they have to go to Minnesota?
Yes. I mean, if they get by Minnesota,
If they get by Minnesota?
Yes.
Yeah. So you think they need that 2 seed to make the run?
Yes.
Yeah. Because they'll get tired. I mean, eventually, if they have to go to Minnesota, then to Philly, that's a lot. Yeah.
They could always stay in Youngstown in between if they beat Minnesota and then have to face Philly. But you want to face Philadelphia at the end, not have to worry about that.
That's a good point. But fortunately, Minnesota has Kirk Cousins.
Yes.
That's all I have to say about that.
But they also have Justin Jefferson, too, who can...
He's great. But Kirk Cousins is the quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings. Kind of makes you feel like they're not going to get it done. You know what I mean? What is it about him?
Hey, you got to... I'll say this about Kirk Cousins. Hey, he's been in the league a long time and made a lot of money.
You know what he's like? He's like Derek Carr. Put up good numbers. It's like, but hey, is he going to get it done? Probably not. But hey, nice Pro Bowl or whatever. Nice statistics.
Hey, he's been in the league for a long time. You can't argue or say anything bad about him for that, at least. So
what I can say is that I think you and everyone else in this call is grateful that he's not the Niners quarterback.
Yes.
Could have been. Isn't.
Could have been.
I'll take Brock. I like Brock.
Yes. Brock is doing what Kyle wants his quarterbacks to do. Just don't make mistakes and you have all
the ball out on time.
Yep.
Let Kyle be the star. Don't take too much credit.
I hate saying this, but it kind of reminds me of very early Tom Brady when he started with the Patriots after.
Well, I compared him to Joe Montana, so why don't we just reach for the stars here?
Yes.
Why not? I mean, he's like doing things that no one's ever. I mean, even Tom Brady didn't do this. Like this was his second. It was Brady's second year when he went on his run. So really, Brock Purdy is the greatest quarterback of all time. I got to take more calls, but I'm glad that we agree on that.
Yep. Thank you, Grant.
See ya. We got hella people waiting today. The coach. No, hold on. You slipped in there. You're next. Voice ad agency. The coach was first. What's up? How you doing, man?
Pretty good, man. What's going on? Why are you looking at me like that?
Because your audio is messed up. You gotta fix that. Yeah, hold on. Keep talking.
Take me back.
Yeah. Your audio's messed up. We gotta fix it. So come back in.
Hold on.
All right. Voice ad agency and then the coach. What's up?
See, I told you should have just got me, dog.
He wasn't ready. So, but StreamYard does that to people sometimes. It's not really a him thing. It's a StreamYard thing. Here, I think you should leave and come back in. I would suggest, Coach, do it quick before the thing fills up. There you go. What's up?
All right, so I guess on the first thing you're saying, keep it short.
Yeah, please.
All right, cool. I'll grant that request to you, Grant.
Thank you.
So as far as is the 49ers going to run the table, and it's hard for me to say this as a diehard 49er fan, no. There's going to be one loss, and I'll just give you one guess.
Could be next week.
One guess who it's going to be.
Who?
I'll give you it. One guess, Juan.
To me, in the regular season, this one against Washington is the most dangerous. But what do you think?
Raiders.
Raiders.
The reason why,
Okay.
completely easy game that we should just win. They're going through tumultuous season, everything else, and do we not just have a habit of blowing that damn game? The one that just, you automatically should win, put to bed.
Yeah.
That's
It's
what I
true.
think. I hope it's not true, but
It's true.
that's what I feel when I just look at the.
And no one's taking
at
them
the
seriously
season.
because they just lost to Baker Mayfield, who'd been on the team for 2 days. So it's like, there you go. It's
Exactly.
the Raiders again. Yeah.
Exactly.
I can see it.
I
I
hope
mean, then they should be. But it seems like even if the Niners drop a game that they should win over the next 3, if they go 2-1 over the next 3, I'm thinking they'll probably get that 2 seed from Minnesota because Kirk Cousins is Kirk Cousins, and they'll be fine. So I don't think they necessarily have to win out, but they probably should.
Yeah. And last thing for me is that I don't even know if I really want to go after the 2 seed just with the injuries and everything else. I'd rather get the rest and enter the playoffs, healthy with the most players that we can have.
I feel you. I wouldn't say like sit starters, but like you can like manage their touches. Like you don't have to give Christian McCaffrey 30 touches a game down the stretch.
Well,
You're trying to get him
we're talking
fresh
about
for the
Kyle Shanahan.
Well, then he only has himself to blame if his team gets tired and doesn't make it all the way. Hey, good call, man.
All
Thank
right,
you.
man.
Later. I appreciate the the pace of these calls so far. All right, what we got? The coach, you ready? What's up? Now I can't hear you at all. Man.
You can't hear me?
No, I got you now. All right, there we go. We go.
What's
All
going
right.
on, man?
What's going on, man?
What a season.
Whew.
Jesus
It's the best
Christ.
one. It's the best one yet.
Tips and turns.
It's the best.
So I'm gonna be quick. I'm gonna stay in
you
line.
can take 4 minutes.
Okay, so
You got a pop song. 3 minutes, 30 seconds.
all right, so if there's a game that I don't want to lose is the one against the Commanders.
Okay.
I feel like that's going to be a very physical game. They're built like us.
Yeah.
They're very strong defensively. They muck things up. They're the only team that beat the team that everybody's saying that we need to beat.
Correct.
And they actually showed the blueprint, which is strong, tough defense, a very strong running game. Brian Robinson is doing big things for them. And they got a gamer in Taylor Heineke because we should know about. They have their Rockford. There we go. So I'm trying to draw some comparisons now. We just came off of a really big emotional high.
Also, big, strong D lines give the Niners problems. Look at what New Orleans did. Yeah.
Yes. And
because
also,
McGlinchey, Brendel, Burford's going to be good, but he's a rookie. Look at the difference between Banks, his first year and second year. So
we've managed that situation.
Yeah.
And we've kept his confidence up. I'm really happy with what we've done because that's a confidence thing. You can't just have a young guy getting beat on like that. I started understanding what they were doing early on. At first, it was kind of peculiar, but I get it now.
A rotation, but I get it. Yeah.
So and we're coming off an emotional high with winning with Brock, and the Commanders are probably just coming in
and
here
a mini bye week.
And a mini bye week.
And the Commanders are hungry, and Kyle's like, "How do I get my team up?" We just clinched.
Right, because if you think about them, they're war ready because they're trying to play spoiler anyway. They got plans of their own. So the Commanders are not coming to play around.
No.
Exactly. And we've already kind of made a reputation of embarrassing teams in our own house, and they're not trying to be a part of that number. They're going to slow things down, and they are really going to really try to make us grind out a win. My only problem is that I want to get through a game like that unscathed. I'm not worried about not Oakland, but Las Vegas. They're a beaten team. And so is Arizona. Really the team that we need to be paying attention to is the Commanders because they can actually trade blows with us.
Yes. And even if they beat the Commanders, they could come out with a couple of injuries and like it dropped the next game to the Raiders because they're so beat up. I mean, isn't that what happens to teams that face the Niners? Teams that face the Niners just get worked the next week because they're destroyed. Isn't that true?
Yes.
I think there's a stat that like they're getting outscored by like 100 points.
Yeah, anyway. Because it's a dogfight.
Exactly.
So if we're staying on that topic, I'm worried about the Commanders. As far as what was the other topic? Who are we going to lose to? Is this the best defense ever? Yes.
Yeah.
For the
I think so.
49ers. I mean, and if you really think about it, not only is it the best defense performing, but really on paper, we don't have E-Man. Javon Kinlaw is not around.
Right.
And we actually had to do something. I don't think people are actually realizing how fucked we would be if we didn't have Jimmy Ward playing nickel.
Yep.
We
All
would
of a
be in
sudden, he's doing a really good job at it too. Give him a few weeks to get his feet underneath him. He's shutting down Tyler Lockett.
Under protest. He did not like it.
Holding his nose. I was like, I'll do it.
Holding his nose the
I
whole
was like,
way.
I can do it. Fine. Yeah. Yep.
Right, but I think that us having Gip in there at safety and with Talanoa back there, it really lended us to when you have a defense this talented. One thing that you have to understand is that our defense is so good that we can't put all of the talent on the field at once.
Right.
That's true. Like, think about that. Like, think about what Azeez Al-Shaair is having to do watching DJ Greenlaw have the season of his life. Right? Yeah. The season before, what was everybody saying? Man, Azeez is killing. He's killing. Yeah. And look at how there's been a damp cloth kind of put on his progression in a sense. Not all the way. But so, I feel like just the fact that, you can go back to the Aldon Smith and the Cowboys. You can go back to those years, but this defense is doing it in a league where this league doesn't care about defense. This era of football is all about offense, and they're doing it in a league where it's a track meet. Right. You know what I'm saying? And they're embarrassing people. Like we're almost making teams look like there is a competition difference on the field.
Well, real quick, I mean, scoring's down this year. I think checkdowns are up. And maybe everyone's trying to be like Kyle and just throw the ball in the backfield, but the Niners really, really tackle well. So if you just come with that check down, humpy, bumpy bullshit, Dre Greenlaw's going to mess you up. I got to take more calls. It's good to see you, though.
It was good to see you, too, man.
All right, man. Take care.
All
right, let's go. Luis, what's up?
Hey, what's going on, Grant? How you doing?
How you doing, man?
I got my babies over here crying. They want to take a nap. But hey, I'm calling from Hayward. How you doing today, my guy?
Hey, Stack.
Real quick, I want to talk about Brock Purdy and Trey Lance if we can.
Let's do it.
Man, I think me and you, I think we were kind of thinking of like, man, I think it's not fair how I was trying to talk about it on Instagram and Twitter with one of the guys, and I think it's unfair how I guess apparently Trey Lance was the starter, correct?
Right.
And how is it that apparently he's ready to come back right now, but he's not playing? So, I mean, I don't know. I mean, for me, Grant, I'm still on the Trey Lance hype. I feel like Trey deserves his chance still, and I feel like this is his chance. And I don't know. I mean, Brock Purdy's pretty nice too. He took advantage of what he got, but at the same time, I want to see Trey Lance out there, and because they both have similar ways of talent.
Yeah,
if you understand what I'm trying to say.
I do. I understand. Look, it's a tough spot to bring. It's a tough spot to bring back Lance now, considering Purdy's on like a hot streak and the locker room's behind him. But what I'll say is, Lance is going to get his chance. Lance isn't going anywhere. Lance is going to get his chance. Like, frankly, not to be a jerk about it, but Kyle Shanahan goes through his quarterbacks all the time. I feel like you're feeding me right now. I feel like I'm a baby and you're feeding me. Kyle Shanahan goes through hella quarterbacks. Purdy's already hurt right now.
Bleak, right?
Lance will get his chance. He's younger than Purdy. They're both signed for the next 3 years. It's good to have two good young quarterbacks. You don't really know what you have in either one.
Yeah, and what I also wanted to ask you was,
this is hella weird.
I'm so sorry.
This is the weirdest thing of all time.
Man, it's my daughters. I gotta take care of. My girl's at the gym.
No, I feel you, man. This is dope.
But no, I know you got other people waiting. But no, that's all I wanted to talk about, man. Because I feel like Trey deserves his chance, and I feel like right now is his chance. But
I feel like he's probably gonna have to wait till Purdy just swooped in real quick and took his chance for this year. This is Purdy's run.
I know you keep mentioning when I listen to you with you and Jesse.
Yeah.
And I know you keep mentioning that they're gonna have a battle in the offseason next year, and it's gonna be a good.
It's gonna be great. It's gonna be great.
I already know.
I cannot wait.
They both have every similar trait. They could both throw the ball deep. They could both.
Yeah.
And they could both do quarterback read options. It's just crazy, bro. Like Kyle has two
Yeah.
options. Well,
Absolutely.
because he has Josh Johnson too. Because Josh Johnson could do that too. So, I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, bro, them three next year, Josh Johnson.
It's gonna be dope.
Ooh.
All right, Luis.
All right,
Have a good one, man.
Thank you, Grant. Hey, have
Peace.
a good one, man.
You too. That was hella tight. All right, 88 Niner.
What's up,
Bob
boss?
Martin. What's up?
What's
man?
up, man?
How you doing?
I'm all right, man. I'm sorry for it's been so while. It's hard for me to catch up with you on your live shows.
It's all right, man. They're intermittent.
It's all good. Straight to business. First off, I think we're getting ready to go bowling, man.
Hey, they just might be.
But here's the reason.
I never took him seriously with Jimmy. I thought it was always easy to be like, no, their quarterback's Jimmy.
No,
He's not going there.
no.
But now I'm like,
Jimmy is the reason, Grant.
tell me.
Grant.
Because he's coming back? He's coming back?
How many rings does Jimmy Garoppolo have?
2 as a backup.
A backup, Grant. That's what I'm talking about. As a backup. Let's go.
True. It's true. Because he's still on the active roster.
Exactly.
He is. Yeah.
So I think he got a little bit of a good luck charm to him. And I say we finally get that elusive 6th one as long as Brock keeps doing what Brock does.
Yep. That's the thing, right? He doesn't have to do more than he's doing. He has to do what he's doing right now, continuously.
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe he can do it. I don't know.
I'm just a tad bit concerned about he seemed to throw one ball a game. And to this point, nobody's taking it back to the house for this reason or that. But I'm just a tad bit concerned about that. Other than that,
all I'm saying though is that most quarterbacks do, and the thing is, like, other good quarterbacks give you hella big plays. And so far, this guy's hitting the ones down the field, and it feels like, hey man, maybe he is getting lucky, but I'll take the occasional bad decision. Although he doesn't have the arm to really throw the ball over the middle into tight windows. And like if you're in 3rd and 8, man, he doesn't have the arm to drive the ball past the sticks like even Jimmy does.
But you got your safety valve.
Right. I mean, you're not built to be that kind of team anyway. You shouldn't be in 3rd and long. You should be in 3rd and 4. And he can manage that really well. It's not like you're paying him $50 million to be Josh Allen.
Right.
You know, just be good, be cheap, be young, and execute the offense. Should be enough. The team's really good. You know.
The other thing is, I'm of the belief, Grant, if it were up to me, I'd be sitting dudes, man. Because for me, it's not that much of a difference between the 2 spot and the 3 spot. I'd rather have Nick Bosa firing on all 8 cylinders coming out of them blocks, man. I'd rather have Eric Armstead get as much rest as he can so he can continue to bully people. I'd rather George have some rest. He's getting a little old. Last week he went kind of hard. You understand what I'm saying? I'd hate to have somebody get hurt.
Oh, don't worry. We're going to get 3 consecutive games of 20 yards from George Kittle. It's coming up. Don't worry about it. He heard you. He's got you.
Yeah.
He's way ahead of you on that one. I'm just kidding.
There it is. But seriously, man, I value my players being as close to 100% over that 3 seed. Over that 2 seed. The 1 seed, that's pretty much out in the ethers unless Philly just has a complete meltdown. So we're stuck at either 2 or 3. And if the difference between 2 or 3 is me having players at full strength, I'd rather have them full strength for the push, man. That's the truth. Because
I still think the Niners can win these games without, doing what they did in Seattle.
Well, that's the thing is we can. Like Jordan Mason, and you talked about it on your shows. He can give us the work needed to get us 100 yards a game for these next 3 games. If you just gave him the ball as opposed to McCaffrey.
What has he done in games that have made you feel like, man, we can't increase his workload? What is he? He's only done well with the opportunities that they've given him.
Because of who Kyle Shanahan is and how him and his father run the system, I believe he has a fear that he's going to cost him when it most matters. That's what I believe.
I can see it. Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because he hasn't done anything but show greatness.
That's true. Yeah.
So it's like you're almost putting a book out on a guy and he's done nothing wrong, but because of your preconceptions, you're like, well, I'd rather not. Meanwhile, you're putting your star running back in harm's way by running him to death. And more importantly, you're not giving a guy a shot who probably can give relief to the whole of the team, not just McCaffrey. If that dude start pounding a rock, old Jerome Bettis style, that completely opens up another side of the offense to where you can actually get some things done. You can truly slow the clock down and begin to take advantage of that style of football.
Rob, great call, man. Thanks for calling in.
Hey, man, it's always good to talk to you.
Always good to talk to you too, man. Take care.
Yes, sir.
Let me take some these questions real quick. Jay says, Kyle couldn't get the vets on board with Trey last offseason. Trade Kittle to send a signal to the vets. Trey and Purdy duke it out for the starting quarterback next year. I don't like what Kittle did with that T-shirt thing. I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I feel like he's once again trying to insert Jimmy Garoppolo into a team where he's not involved with. I mean, it's not about Jimmy right now. It's about Purdy. He had an opportunity to make it about Purdy and didn't. We have to see how BP reacts to an interception loss. Of course we do. I agree. I'm not saying he's the franchise quarterback at all. Jay says, if trading Kittle isn't enough, send Juice out too. The way the vets reacted when Trey got hurt was despicable. Juice, Kittle, and Jimmy, they are tight. I don't see how those three can be part of a team led by Brock Purdy or Trey Lance. QB comp ain't here yet. Let's talk about it next year. Okay. Just a second. Eloy says it will be a fair fight for the quarterback between Trey Lance and Brock Purdy only if Kittle and Juice are gone. Only there the balance won't be tilted. I agree. I think they got to go unless you're going to keep Jimmy. When Mason comes in, it's run situations. Can he pass block or is he still adjusting to passing game? I just think he's not as much of a passing threat as McCaffrey. Grant, your follow-up question to Kyle about Brock got him to open up with effusive praise for the rookie. I'm glad he kept it professional. Eric should take note. I mean, whatever. I liked what I got a good answer out of Kyle, right? Matthew says, how KC or Buffalo losing the big one to this team? I don't know. The Niners do have to go through Philly. That's exhausting. Senior says, Kyle Shanahan wait until the playoffs to unlock Jordan Mason. He's our next Raheem Mostert. Difference is just between the tackles. People always give Kyle. People always think that Kyle has like this genius master plan. Like, I think he just, like he had this genius master plan with Brock Purdy. Nah, Jimmy got hurt. Brock Purdy got a chance. Everyone's surprised. Kyle gets credit. I'm sure Bill Walsh was surprised by Joe Montana to a degree too. You know what I mean? King Q, what's up?
Hey, what's up, Grant?
How you doing?
Damn, I'm doing great, man. This is my first time on, and thanks for having me on, bro.
Absolutely.
So I got 5 things written down, but a couple of them are real quick though.
Okay.
I just wanted to give you your flowers, you and your pops, because you guys are great. Like, I think you're the first person I've ever watched. I'm a Niners fan since '94 or whatnot, since I was a kid, I should say, and all because of Deion Sanders. I'm from Fort Myers, so that's why.
Okay.
I'm from Florida. So I want to give you your flowers because you're the best at what you do. Can you see me better now? Is that better?
Yeah, I see. Yeah.
Okay. A quick question. What does the 49ers look like if they had a top 10 quarterback?
Well, that's a tough question. I mean, how much money is he making? If he's making $50 million a year, they probably don't have a lot of the players they have on their team. So I think, you know what I mean? Part of the reason they have such a great roster is because they're not spending at quarterback. So,
well, let's say it's a top 10 that's in his rookie year.
Then they look like
contract.
the best team in the league.
Okay.
They look like the best team in the league. Don't you think?
Okay. Hell yeah. Like, I don't.
Yeah. Well,
like,
I mean,
they
look a lot like Philly, right? Because Philly's got a top 10 quarterback with a really good.
That's mobile.
Yeah. The difference between Philly and the Niners is the quarterback and the offensive line. Philly's got the best offensive line in the league too. They also have an excellent defense. Maybe not as good as the Niners, but it's very, very good. So I guess they'd look a lot like Philly.
Yeah, because I don't understand why he didn't put any money into the offensive line, but at the same time, whatever. I digress. Next one is, I think our biggest Achilles heel is Kyle Shanahan and his play calling. Sometimes, like, I think at the end of the day, his biggest fault is going to be his play calling because he gets it in his own head, right?
Here's how I think of him. He's like Superman and Lex Luthor at the same time. You know?
Yeah.
He's like the guy that you can't be stopped, and he's the guy who stops himself. He is his own biggest enemy.
Okay.
At the worst times. And he's done it like 2 or 3 times in his career where he's right at the finish line. He's about to be a legend. He's about to be a made man. And he's just like, whoa.
Is there anything like that when he was in Washington? Because I know we got it in Atlanta. We seen it in Atlanta.
Well,
But-
they had a very promising run, and then RG3 got hurt. So
And then RG3 got hurt.
that's the thing. The other thing with Kyle is like his quarterbacks always get hurt, and he's always just sitting there like, "Oh, what happened?" Another
Matt Schaub was his too, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then this is one for you, Grant. Can you come up with a nickname for the defense?
We got one. Alcatraz.
Oh, I forgot
Alcatraz.
you did say that. Yeah,
I like that.
Blow that up. I like
and
that
the only way that you can escape Alcatraz apparently is by scrambling on 3rd and long. The Niners got to figure that out because there is an escape of Alcatraz right now. It's called scrambling out of the pocket on 3rd and long. And Geno did it.
Right.
That's going to come back and bite them in the playoffs if they face Josh Allen or Jalen Hurts. I'm telling you.
Right.
Yep.
And last one is Jordan Mason, the finisher. I like that nickname for him. That was a good nickname.
What's his face? Christian McCaffrey calls him Mariano Rivera. I like that.
Oh, yeah, that was
really
good. But that's about it, man. Thanks for the call, man. Thanks
All
for
right,
accepting
King Q.
the call.
Good stuff. Thanks for calling in. All right. Dave Barclay says, if you're not with us as a hold and win, then it's time to leave. We can get by without some of these vets. Get rid of Jimmy and company, GK, KJ, MM. Yeah, man, I think those guys got to go. Kittle is not the blocker he used to be. Juszczyk isn't the blocker he used to be. If they're this set on Jimmy Garoppolo being their quarterback, let them all go to the same team and be friends forever. BFFs. Kyle says, anyone notice how Seattle had the field goal cadence down almost 4 blocks, which led to missed right field goal? Might be an issue down the road. I didn't notice that. Thanks for pointing it out. Dennis.
What's up, man?
How you doing?
Man, I'm good.
You're not driving, right? You're riding the passenger seat?
I'm in the passenger seat, bro. You feel me?
All right, man. What's up?
Nah, I just wanted to say, I piggyback off of what you was saying earlier, but yeah, like Kittle and him and Juszczyk, they gotta go, man. That's a whole move. Kittle keep playing, keep doing with his little Jimmy G antics. You know what I'm saying? Like that shit getting old, bro. You know what I mean? Like if Trey deserves a fair shot, he deserves a fair shot. You know what I'm saying? If he can't get it, they gotta go. You know what I'm saying? Because they really hindering the team. You know what I'm saying? Because Purdy's good. I'm happy with Purdy right now, but I think Trey just needs a fair shot, and he needs a few players to go in order to give him that, to get that fair shot. Either that or Cohn to tell people to shut the hell up, you know, and run the team like the coach, like he's supposed to, you know. But other than that, I don't think we're gonna lose no games, man. You know what I'm saying? These next 3 games these teams is trash, bro. The Raiders, trash, garbage. Arizona, trash, garbage. Ain't Kyler Murray hurt?
Yeah.
Trash.
Yeah.
Garbage. And then as far as the Joe Montana comparison, can we stop with that, man? You feel me? Like, I like Purdy. He's doing a great job. I'm happy with everything. I'm happy he came in and he's able to, you know what I'm saying, keep us afloat, keep us going.
I'm not saying he's Joe Montana. I'm not saying he's Joe Montana. You're right. All I'm saying, what I like about him is like the calmness, like you know what I mean? Like Jimmy didn't have this. There's just certain differences between Jimmy and Brock that make me like Brock maybe more than I should. Like he sees the whole field. Oh my God. A quarterback who sees the whole field, man, it's been a while. I've been watching Jimmy a long time. A quarterback who doesn't panic if the first read isn't open. Oh my God, I forgot that there are quarterbacks who do that.
Happy feet. Jimmy got
a guy who can actually run out of the pocket and slide. Like, wow. Like, I know Trey Lance can do this stuff too, but like we just been watching Jimmy for so long, and it's like, man. Anyway.
And the last thing, like Shanahan, I don't know what he needs to do, bro, but he needs to switch it up. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm like just cringing every play. Like when he goes to McCaffrey, like, damn, this is gonna be the one where he get hurt. This is the one where he's gonna get hurt. Like,
yeah,
I would rest them dudes. I would bring in Mason. I'd bring in you know what I'm saying? I'd bring in Danny Gray. I'd, like you said, let Jennings get some more, you know, more reps, things of that nature. Like, you know, let them dudes shine, get the other dudes some rest, and then at the same time, when them dudes get in that moment, it ain't too big for them. You know what I mean?
But at the same time, the offense right now is Christian McCaffrey every time. Give the ball to Christian. They got to like get out of that because I don't think they can do that for the next 2 months.
Nah,
I don't think it's gonna last.
They got to get out of that, bro, because he got that small frame. You know what I'm saying? And
yep. He's not Derrick Henry. They're using him like he's Derrick Henry, but he's not.
That's ridiculous. I was watching the game the last game, and they slamming him up the middle. Like, come on, man! Like,
crazy.
You gotta do that can do that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you got Derrick Henry on your team, and you're using Dennis. I gotta go. Good stuff, man.
All right, go.
William says, did you see Brock say GK won't shut up on air? I like that. I want Trey to start doing stuff like that too, man. Basically said, shut up, Jordan. Dave says, Kyle not being in control of the locker room is represented on the field. People don't listen to him, it seems. Look at Seattle. He started all over. Rooks. I mean, yeah, I do think that those three guys that I mentioned have too much control in the locker room. Jordan says, great. Did you see the interview after the game and Brock said George never shuts up? That was hilarious. It was hilarious. It made me like Brock more than I already do. Bryant.
Hey, Grant.
How you doing? Nice hat.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So can I ask a couple real quick things? How was the sound? How was the sound in Seattle? Did it sound louder than normal?
Oh, no. In the press box, you're behind really thick glass, and you really don't get a feel for what that sounds like. So I don't know.
Okay, so when you're when you're looking at the field or like the stadium itself, did it look like there was more red in the stadium this time?
Yes, big time. Yeah, big time. I mean, the Seahawks never had anything to cheer about in that game. They were losing pretty much the whole time, and they know they suck. So, yeah, it was like it seemed like the least raucous crowd I've ever seen up there.
Yeah, because just watching it from the TV, it didn't seem like they were nearly as much green as normally, and it didn't. I know a lot of people say that because it was on Prime, it wasn't the same coming through the TV, but I couldn't really tell you the difference. But I wanted to see what you thought. And then here's a couple of thoughts. Like if you start resting players, sometimes before they go on to their playoff run, they get rusty or they get like.
It's true.
So can we play them like first and second quarter and then maybe start sending people out?
Yeah, I wouldn't just start sitting the team. I would just be like managing them, using them responsibly. That's what I would do.
Yeah,
that's what I would do. I don't think Bosa wants to take 3 games off. He's trying to get paid. He's trying to get as many sacks as possible.
Yeah, because when you have star players, they want to shine bright. They want the ball. They want to be on the field. They're entertainers. And then the other thing that I wanted to really quickly say is like, if we got to start letting these vets go because they don't fit in with our quarterbacks, then is it time to rebuild? Is it this is our last year with the Super Bowl window?
I feel like Kittle and Juszczyk,
Kittle
has a good game whenever they're on prime time, so like once a month. And Juszczyk, they've never used Juszczyk. Juszczyk is the guy who goes in motion from left. He goes. That's what he just wears out grass, man. And yeah, he blocks a little bit, but they're 14th in yards per carry this year. I think their blocking contributions have been a little overstated recently. Yeah. Anyway, Brian, I got to take more calls.
All right, man. Thanks for.
You got one more thing. I didn't mean to cut you. You got one more. Oh, he's gone. Sorry, that was rude of me. I love Bryant. Matthew says, don't be surprised if offense looks whack next 4 weeks. Kyle loves a surprise, and he's going to save it for the playoffs. It's going to look week 4 now. Yeah, that's inspiring stuff. You're probably right. That should have been a blowout. Mason, TD, refs. Come on, Tommy. I think Brock is closer to Trey than Jimmy in terms of skill set, just because they can move. Kyle is not shutting it down because Minnesota is still catchable. Yeah, are you guys watching that game right now? Dave says, why didn't they let Mason punch it in at the end? Why do you think, man? They want McCaffrey to get all the numbers. All right. Josh White, what's up, man?
How you doing, man?
Good. How are you? Let's get into it.
It feels really good to be relevant, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think when they made that Christian McCaffrey trade, the first thing I said was it was a move to be relevant.
Yeah.
And I think we underestimated how good it feels to be relevant in December and January. Yeah, I don't think the 49ers underestimated that. I think the 49ers brass knew exactly what they were doing, and we're getting to see it, you know? So, like, as much as I want to be a downer right now, there's some things that, it's the joy of my life to watch this football team play defense.
Yeah.
Have you ever had more fun watching a defense fly around on the field? No. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Like, regardless of how the season ends up, watching this defense is a privilege. We should, I'll walk out of the room when the offense is on the field, but I won't leave my seat when the defense is out there on the field. They are that good. They're that historic. They're that awesome. And remember after the KT game, I said DeMeco Ryans is a serious player, and he will not let his defense get embarrassed like that again.
Mm-hmm.
You're seeing it, man.
Yep.
That dude is going to be a head coach in this league probably next year, and he's going to be a good one.
Yep.
And it's time to start thinking about, can we afford to lose D'Amico Ryans on this defense more than we can afford to lose Shanahan for this offense? I mean, you know, I mean, I don't want people are talking about Shanahan for Coach of the Year, and obviously we're not going to talk about getting rid of Shanahan, but you get into the offseason and you start thinking about it and you start looking at your options. You got an offense that has really never put it together, and they've never answered the quarterback situation. The only thing they've answered is how to put a phenomenal defense on the field year in and year out. And
and he's gonna go. He's gonna be gone. And now that the Niners, I don't think they have another guy on staff. I don't think they have the next guy on staff. They'll have to go.
Yeah,
I think they could get Vic Fangio, and Vic Fangio runs a different style of defense. They'll have to work it out.
I don't like Vic Fangio for the defense that they have, but I mean, he's a brilliant guy, so it's an option. The other thing I wanted to touch on is everybody going over the moon for Brock Purdy. I got to tell you, Brock Purdy did his job. He did his job.
Yeah.
Nobody had a book on him. He came out and he played really, really well for what he was asked to do. I mean, he made a couple of mistakes, but they didn't bite him. He got away with it. And you can't then sit there and put the weight of the world on Brock Purdy's shoulders like he's going to go out there and be the savior and win the Super Bowl. And it's Linsanity, and we're, blah, 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 blah. No.
But I think everyone recognizes that he doesn't have to be the savior. Like, he has to do his job.
Right.
But I think he does the job better than Jimmy did.
I don't think 49er fans recognize that. I think there is a significant portion of the 49ers fan base right now that is in, like, Gardner Minshew fever. And they can't see the forest through the trees at all. Right?
No, I wouldn't put it,
Yeah, and I don't want to be a downer because Brock has been incredible for what he's asked to do, but let's pump the brakes. We've got a franchise quarterback for this franchise in Lance. Lance is the franchise guy. You look at his numbers in his first 4 games. You look at the performances you put together, the growth that he showed from year 1 to year 2 for a guy who came into the league at 20 years old. Still one of the youngest quarterbacks in the league to this day, still younger than Brock Purdy, right? Mm-hmm. Like, he has all the physical tools. He has all the mental makeup. He has everything you're looking for in a franchise quarterback for the modern NFL. Pump the brakes, because you're going to see teams adjust to Brock Purdy. You're going to see him turn back into a pumpkin. You're going to see all of the running around and the trying to overthrow his arm because he doesn't have the arm to actually make some of the throws that he's going to be attempting. Some of the problems that are going to come up. Pump the brakes. Remember what Lance actually is and why they gave up 3 first-round picks to get him. And just, be a little calm here because we're doing a real disservice to Brock. And I'll tell you what, I think George Kittle was actually in Brock's corner on that national broadcast. Everybody's talking about it like, oh, he was disrespecting Brock Purdy. He was coming out with a Jimmy shirt. He was telling the kid to sit down. He should have embraced him, this and that. Nah, man. He was taking all of the pressure off of Brock Purdy and saying, oh, he's just a guy. He's just a guy. He doesn't have to do a lot. We're not depending on him to do too much or this or that. He was being a leader and saying, no, we got this. Brock Purdy is playing great and we love him, but we got this. And I think that's the right mentality to have. I think it just feels weird to all of these 49ers fans who want something sensational to cheer for. They want Brock Purdy to be, Tom Brady. The names sound the same. He beat him in his first start, but he's not. He's not that. Look at his arm strength. Look at his skill set. Go back and look at his highlights. Look at his lowlights at Iowa State. That's what you should go look at. Look at the embarrassing plays that he would make when he tried to go off schedule and do too much. That's the player you've got in Brock Purdy. He's not Tom Brady. He's not Drew Brees. He's doing remarkable for now. Pump the brakes.
Thanks, right? Josh. Thanks, Josh.
Have a good one.
You too. Brandon says, do you notice McCaffrey grimacing every time he touches the ball? Is he hiding an injury or just bracing for a big hit? I mean, how do you not get sore when you take 26 carries plus 10 targets? How do you not? It looked like he was just laying on the ground after carries, waiting for someone to pick him up so he could conserve some energy. Dave says, with everything going on, I'm still Trey's number one supporter and see the game for what it is when Jimmy plays. He's not good. Brock just shows how bad Jimmy Garoppolo is. Yeah, I'm in Trey's corner too. I also like Brock. I think Brock deserves credit for what he's doing, even though he has a weak arm. Like, not to compare him to Joe Montana, but Joe Montana also had a weak arm. Like, to me, Brock is Kyle's Tua. Look what Mike McDaniel's doing with Tua. Not a great quarterback, but having not a really good couple of weeks, but having a really good season. Brock's a lot like Tua. JCK510.
Hey, what's up, Grant? I'm going to keep it brief, but I just wanted to talk about George Kittle's Jimmy shirt because, I don't know if you knew about this, but, I think George Kittle wrote "Feels Great, Baby," -10 on it because when they won the NFC West in 2019, he wore a "Feels Great, Baby" shirt. So they won it in Seattle, and this locker room just can't let go of 2019. So
right,
it was just a parallel. The second thing I wanted to talk about was, do you think Brock Purdy will allow Shanahan to trust rookies more?
No.
I don't think so either.
No.
But
look at how he's using Jordan Mason. He only trusts a rookie when he has no other choice.
Yeah, Brock Purdy's showing that he's way better than the veteran that he had. And, it's upsetting because he could be such a better coach if he would just trust his players a little bit more.
And you go back to the Niners' first ever Super Bowl. They had 3 rookies starting in the secondary. Bill Walsh trusted young guys. Good coaches should. But Kyle's a little stodgy and conservative in that sense.
Yeah. All right, Grant, I'll let you get some more callers. Have a good one.
Thanks for calling in.
Peace.
All right. Baby Baller 18.
G Money was popping.
What's going on, man?
Hey, you know who I ran into last week? I'll give you a few clues to figure it out. UCLA legend, NBA Hall of Famer, drafted by the Portland Trail Blazers.
I don't know. Oh, Luke Walton.
Was it Luke
Walton?
Walton?
Luke Walton. Bill Walton.
There it is. Ran into Bill Walton. Dude's nice as hell.
That's cool.
Got to chop it up with him.
Nice. I thought you were going to say Kareem Abdul-Jabbar because that's the other dude who's always around Westwood. He's always at the games. Anyway, what's up?
Yeah. And I'm not pumping the brakes on Brock Purdy, first of all. In fact, I saw you and Ryan, talking about your favorite things about Brock, and I wanted to talk about a couple things that I like about Brock.
All right.
And the first one is, Grant, Brock hits the layups. When guys are open, he's hitting them. And it's like, how many times have we seen our quarterbacks, whether it's Jimmy or Trey on occasion, they're missing layup throws that we feel like should be hit. Brock's hitting those, and I love it. And just the way he sees the field. Does it feel like Brock just sees the field better than these quarterbacks we've had? Better than Jimmy? Absolutely.
Better than Trey. I mean, because Trey's all a projection, right? Like, what he is now isn't necessarily what he's going to be. Jimmy's not a projection. I still think Brock can get a little bit more physically. Like, he can get a little bit more arm strength. He can be a little bit stronger. Like, he's only been in the NFL for 1 year, but like he's very mature and experienced, and you can see it. He sees the field. That touchdown throw to Kittle was great. Jimmy would have never thrown that.
Yeah, started off looking right, came back left. He's like, oh, Kittle's wide open. Boom. And the nice soft touch throw. He's got the touch. That's the thing with Jimmy Grant. Let me know if this was something that I had came up with right before he got injured. But when Jimmy can throw a pass on a line, he's pretty accurate. But if he needs to layer a ball or put some touch on it, he's got no touch.
None. Which is why he can't throw deep.
Yes.
Yeah.
And Brock has that. So and the other thing with Brock,
but again, like on 3rd and 10, I think Jimmy is probably a better thrower than Purdy. Like, Purdy isn't going to be able to drive the ball past the sticks, but I mean, okay, so he has some weaknesses. You're not paying him a ton of money. Like, you should be able to work around that. And you shouldn't be in 3rd and 10 that much anyway. With this,
and I'll say we'll see. I'm not sure on that one. I said to be determined. The other thing I really like about Brock is we know about the mobility, but it's the pocket mobility. The way he moves within the pocket, slide left, slide right, escape through a crease. Now he's out. He throws really good on the run. I've been so impressed by Brock. To be honest, when Jimmy went down, I kind of thought the season might be a wrap. You know, we know rookie quarterbacks never won the Super Bowl. And hey, now Brock Purdy, the way he's been playing, I feel like we got a shot, and I'm excited.
The Super Bowl odds went down. I wonder if anyone was smart enough to bet on the Niners to win the Super Bowl right after Jimmy got hurt, because you must have got a good deal. Anyway, good to see you, man.
Not me. Well, I got one on defense I want to run.
Go ahead. All right.
Because the defense is phenomenal, but the 3 safety look, every time we're in nickel, we go to the 3 safety look, right? And I'm wondering, once we get to the playoffs, we play the Vikings or AJ Brown and the Eagles, and they put these guys in the slot. It's like I feel like we should be kind of prepping Sam Womack a little bit. I know the defense is balling, but it's the one thing I'm worried about is getting Gibson, because we see Gibson get matched up on wide receivers and he gets burned on occasion, or Jimmy Ward kind of in a mismatch. So do you feel like they don't need to change anything in nickel? Or how you feel about that?
I think Jimmy's been actually improving at nickel the last few weeks. He's been doing a pretty good job. And I don't know that Womack's any better than him right now, but maybe they should give him a look in these next 3 weeks just to see what they got, since they're already in the playoffs. Good call. Yeah.
All right, big dog.
I got to take some more, man. Good to see you. Have a good one. Gavin says, Purdy is better than Jimmy, and that's all the team needs. I also can't wait for the quarterback competition next year. Should bring the best out of Trey and Brock. I absolutely agree. I think it's a good thing. What's wrong to keep 2 quarterbacks with rookie contract? I think it's actually what you want to do. 100% what you want to do. All right. Waruna.
Hey, Grant. How are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I was just writing this week's article.
Nice.
And actually, I just figured out that Cliff Kingsbury has more contract years than Cardinals wins.
That's funny. Wow. Yeah, that Cardinals team is in shambles, and the Niners look like they got a nice future with 2 young quarterbacks they can go with.
Yes. So that's what I wanted to talk about. I think if Brock Purdy continues to play really well, it doesn't make sense to Trey Lance to hang around in this team. Because I think the best thing would be for him to request a trade, because here's the thing now. Let's say they are going to a QB competition next year, right? Most probably Purdy is going to win, because there is that narrative around this team always. It's a win now team. We have so many players loaded on defense and offense, so we need to win now. So even Shanahan said this when Trey Lance was around, why you are not playing Trey? Because we need to win football games. So that's his number 1 priority. So Brock Purdy already is achieving that. So he's giving you that option. So I don't think there is a scenario that Trey Lance comes and basically beating Brock Purdy right away, because Purdy got the experience. He has more college experience. Now he's going to have more NFL experience. So come next year, I don't think it's going to be a fair fight, because especially with the players around the team, like Kittles, Juszczyk, all these players, they will be rooting for Purdy. So that we already have seen with Trey Lance. So I think the best thing for Trey Lance is to request a trade and go to another team, because even Trey Lance become a backup, that doesn't make sense to either 49ers or Trey Lance. Because the reason is, if 49ers want something out of Trey Lance, he needs to play. He needs playing time. 1 good season, at least 17 games, full season. But if he is the backup, he's not going to get that. So he needs to go somewhere, play, start his career, because now it's his 3rd year, right? Without playing. 1 year in college, he played only 1 game. The last year in college, he played only 1 game. 2 years in NFL, only 4 games. So it doesn't make sense for Trey Lance, especially to hang around this team. I think most probably Purdy will win the job. Doesn't matter whether he's going to win the job, but I think even going against Purdy in next offseason and competing for the job doesn't make sense for Trey Lance. If I was Trey Lance or Trey Lance agent, we would make a collective decision for the career, how he can start his career somewhere else, not with the 49ers.
I'm sorry, he has no leverage. He's Jordan Love, and he has to accept that. He has no leverage. He can't ask for a trade. He can't.
Unfortunately.
So what's best for him? Frankly, it doesn't matter. It's what's best for the 49ers. And for them, I don't see how it's a good move to trade him for, what pennies on the dollar when his stock is at its lowest. They still need a backup quarterback. I mean, Brock Purdy, even if he does win the starting quarterback job for next year, is he going to make it through a whole season? Kyle, I mean, he's small. He's hurt now. Kyle gets quarterbacks hurt. They're going to need a backup quarterback, even if it's Trey Lance. So I don't see how they could get a better backup quarterback than Trey Lance. And if he leaves and becomes a quarterback he's supposed to be, and Brock just flat, tops out at a good, not great guy, it's going to be terrible. So they got to be really careful about moving Trey Lance this offseason. Even I understand what you're saying, though. It's probably not going to be a fair fight in the quarterback competition, especially if they go to the NFC Championship game with Brock. I don't know that there even will be a quarterback competition.
Yes.
And I feel bad for Trey that he's becoming Jordan Love, but sorry.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is you'll get your opportunity again the way Brock did. And this time, do what Brock did.
Yeah, it would be hard for him because just hit the strides coming out from the bench because Purdy was ready with his experience, but Lance is not. So he's again going through this progression, all the pains of growing. So again, he's at a disadvantage.
I just don't think the Niners are going to make their decision this offseason based on what's best for him. I think they need to make it on what's best for them. And I know it's like, we need a backup. I still think he's probably the best option for them as a backup, unless they want to bring back Jimmy. I hope not. Rune, I got to go. Good to see you. All right, take care. Gold-Blooded says, what do you think the regret level is for AZ taking Kyler over Bosa? Good question. That was, high. Can you expand on what you mean about Purdy not driving the ball? He put it in a tight window on 3rd and 8 in the slant, and then again, the Ayuk drop. I don't know. You disagree with me? That's fine. I don't think he has that much zip on his throws. He's going to – look at his air yards. They're very low. They're like 6. So, did you see the throw to Ayuk on the outside? That died. The throw over the middle almost got intercepted. I think if he tries to make a living out of that, it's going to be a lot of interceptions for him. I think you're going to see him more keep the ball on the outside and short. But that's just how I see it. I don't know. The Hunter era.
Hey, good morning, Grant. Good morning, 49ers Nation. Man, let's start off by asking the question. The title of the show, will the 49ers lose another game this season? I'll say, if they play the starters for the rest of the season, no.
Mm-hmm.
If Philly wins tomorrow and then they beat the Cowboys, then I think that's when we start the conversation of resting guys, because there's no way that the 49ers will get the 1 seed. And the 2 seed, it could be possible because Minnesota's losing to Indy right now. Still a lot of football left to play in that game. So those are going to be the 2 things that's going to push them to even keep guys competitive, to keep playing, their starters from week to week. Because if they don't really have the 1 or the 2 seed to play for, there's really no point in playing your starters because all you're doing is risking injury at that point. So I don't really see why they would even entertain that. And then maybe we will see Jordan Mason get a couple of more carries. But here goes my thing. If you're going to do that, if you're going to sit your starters, I consider Jordan Mason a starter because we know what he can do, right? For some reason, Kyle hasn't been giving him the important carries through the game, the 3rd and shorts, the goal line carries, stuff like that. And that's real bothering, man, because you got a guy who's proven he can play. Every time he's come in the game, it don't matter if he get 1 carry, if we give him multiple carries, his yards per carry is crazy. And it could be one of those things where Kyle is trying to outsmart his competitors by not playing Mason much in meaningful football. So when we get into the playoffs and the game slows down, then you got this bruiser. So let's say we playing Philly.
Because Mitchell's coming back. And then Jordan Mason's going to get buried even more. Jalapeno 23. Great name. Don't forget that Mitchell's coming back. I don't know that Mason's gonna get his opportunity, and it upsets me, bothers me.
But Mitchell, here go the thing: Mitchell will come back and be gone the same game.
That's true. They got to be careful with Mitchell, man. Yeah.
But look at be honest, Grant. Who is the better player between Mason and Mitchell, based on what you've done seen? I know Mason's sample size is small. Mitchell, we done seen a lot of Mitchell. If you just had to compare, who would you say is better?
I mean, Mitchell's faster, but he can't stay healthy. I don't think he's. I like Mason. I want to roll with Mason. It seems like he got something special there.
Yeah, he definitely does. He got the size.
Yeah.
He can still. He proved just past game that he can explode when he ripped off that low. You know.
He's not slow.
Yeah,
he's not slow.
Yeah, he's not.
He's
like
explosive.
His acceleration ain't.
Yeah.
Super, but once he gets worked up, he's a man. The second thing I wanted to go over was this whole Brock Purdy, Trey Lance war, because that's the next big war, right? Because before it was Jimmy G, Trey, and Trey always seems to be the underdog in the situation. Let me just say this: what y'all seeing Brock Purdy do is what Trey would have been doing, except Trey would have been doing it on a higher level if he was coached correctly,
right?
If Cal called the correct plays for him, and if he was developed correctly, right? Purdy already came with it because he played 4 years in college, right?
And 3 years in high
We've
school.
seen a lot of quarterbacks who didn't play a whole lot in college, or didn't play a lot of pro style football in college, and come to the pros and have success, right? Yeah. So if Kyle would have handled Trey correctly, y'all will see what Purdy is doing, but on a higher level because Lance can add more to it. Right. I think as much as we give Cal a hard time, guys like me and you, Grant, he ain't stupid. He know 10 times out of 10, Trey is a better prospect than Brock Purdy. John Lynch knows that. It's going to be a quarterback. Purdy, the only reason it's going to be a quarterback competition next summer is because Purdy has earned that right through how he's played and carried himself being thrown into the fire. Yeah. So he's earned that right. But he's really going to have to bring it next summer in training camp, because think about this right now. They're not playing against the 49ers defense, right? In training camp, you're going to be playing against the 49ers defense. So that's really going to allow you to see how good Brock Purdy is. That's really going to allow you to see how good Trey Lance is. Now, Trey is going to come to this on the downside because he ain't been playing football. He ain't been in practice reps. Brock playing football right now. So
Brock's been starting 7 years in a row. That's why it's a tough competition for Trey.
And here go the thing about it. It's not even that. This is the funny thing about football. Sometimes it's not about who the best player is. Right. Because Trey probably the best player 10 times out of 10, but the situation hasn't worked in his favor.
It hasn't. Now, that being said, look, Brock could get the job next year. He could roll into the season with the job, go down week 6, Lance comes in, and then he takes it. You know, he's going to get his opportunity. Nothing against Brock, but like, it's football. It's the Niners. Their quarterbacks get hurt. Like, even if Trey has to wait a little bit longer, his opportunity is going to come, and if he's ready, he won't give it away, because there is a huge difference between him and Brock in terms of athletic ability.
And here's the thing about it, because I just see somebody in the chat saying, "Oh, well, Brock had 4 years of college experience. Imagine how much better he could be." Some people peak and they don't ever go beyond that. I can tell you just by looking at Trey right now, he has so much more room to grow. And Brock is probably, what we getting for him right now is probably the best football he can play. Like, we'll never see him be able to put this team on his back if Kittle go down, CMC go down, IU go down. We'll never see Brock Purdy just carry this team with Jennings. You feel me? Like Trey, if Trey was developed correctly with his arm, his talent to run, like, he could take this team to a whole nother level. But the reality situation is we might not ever get to see that. And that's sad, but that's football, man. Yeah, that's football. He could go somewhere else, and he might be like a Geno Smith, didn't work out on his first team, bounced around the league a little bit, and then he ended up looking into a situation. A good situation. Into a good situation like Geno did. So my thing is,
he's got a lot more talent than Geno too.
Yeah. My thing is just to the 49er fans, guys, don't get so invested in these players. Don't get so worked up over every little thing and make everything a tribe, like all that super tribalism. Brock Purdy don't give a damn about y'all. Trey don't give a damn about y'all. Jimmy don't give a damn about y'all. Just root for the guy. Whoever QB won that week, root for him. If he out the next week, look, we need to be prepared to root for another quarterback because Kyle done showed he can't keep his quarterbacks healthy. Why are we arguing about quarterbacks every week?
It's true.
It's stupid conversation in my opinion. But hey, Grant, thank you for having me on again, man. It's always a blast. And last thing I want to say is if we tally it up where you was right and where you was wrong this season, man, them wins looking a whole lot longer than where you was wrong. And people are not gonna give you your credit because you're not an ex-football guy. You don't always say stuff that people want to hear. You give us the truth. I like watching content where people give me the truth. Don't sit up here and say what is going to be popular, what the masses tell me the truth. And somebody said it in the chat. Everybody screaming, nobody likes Grant. Add up the super chats. Look how many people he got watching live first thing in the morning. Look at the subscriber base and how it's growing every week. Yeah. Either they love you or they love to hate you. Either way, you're successful, bro.
I'll take it. Yeah, man. I appreciate you, dude.
Happy holidays, man. Have a
you
good
too.
one.
Happy holidays. Good call. Mitchell comes back. Yeah, we got you, man. You already know Mason's getting buried. That's what they like to do. Jets will trade for Trey Lance or Brock in the offseason. I see what you mean. Trey Lance ain't going. If they sit starter, will they play Kinlaw? Kinlaw hasn't been activated yet. He has to start practicing, and Kinlaw has to get through a few weeks of practices. Niners had the best draft class again, would you say? They had a really good one, huh? They went to Seattle angry. Fred Warner is a leader. They did go into Seattle angry. They were amped up for that game. Hold on. Wait for it. Number 2 seed looking good so far. What's happening in this? I'm not watching. I'm talking to you guys. All right. Mr. 49 Problems.
My guy, Grant, what's good, my dude?
How you doing, man?
I'm doing great, man. I've followed your show for a long time. It's the first time I ever called, and I wanted to start this off as a Grant Cohn appreciation post because I honestly, it's going to sound like satire, but I honestly believe you get under every single important 49er member's skin, and I think it has brought them a type of laser focus to just prove you wrong, dog. Like, low-key, I know it sounds crazy. I know you say you're the quality control guy, whatever, but just the way, like, some of them don't answer your questions, they clearly watch you, or somebody watches you and relays the information. And should the Niners win the Super Bowl, and I think we have a good shot at it, you should get a fucking ring. Excuse my language. You should get a ring. Like,
I get no credit. I'm clearly motivated. I'm pushing all the right. I'm in the zone, man. I am in the zone right now.
And I watch all the Niner content. There's some guys I don't watch, but I watch Crocky, I watch Haberman and Middlecop. I like all you guys are pretty dope. You guys have inspired me to eventually get into it. Nice. But I told Crocky, and he's like, no, I don't know if they wake up in the morning, like, Grant motivated us to do this. And I was like, not literally, but goddamn, they most for certain knows what he says. And it gives them, like, just an extra chip. Like, athletes deal with chips on their shoulders. Any extra motivation you could get, and you definitely provide them extra motivation to, like, go execute and perform. So, but real quick, Grant, I want to ask you this too.
You saw Juwan Jennings after that Saints game when he was at the podium. He was like, "Let's go, Grant!" I'm like, okay, I got Juwan Jennings. Yeah, all right, got him.
And you can tell he turns up and probably talks hella shit when he drinks and shit. He probably turns up because he's a young guy. So, but whatever works. Grant. Also, real quick, I got to give you love for the middle names. The Alcatraz D, I thought of like Goldman Sachs before. I thought of like the Gold Rush, which is kind of lame. But Alcatraz, it's pretty dope. That's a dope nickname. Purdman Jr., that's also very dope. So I don't know if I can tell you used to rap because you got bars, low key. Hey, I asked this to Crocker, bro. The Niners are on a 7-game win streak. So if they win out the rest of the season, they'll be at 10 wins. And then they have to go into the playoffs with the competition level improving.
Yeah.
Like in the NCAA tournament, sometimes there's or in college basketball, there's a team that's like 18-0. And you're like, would this team be better off losing a game? So then they could go into the tournament, refocused.
Right.
Because who's going to win? Like, if we win out. That's 10, and then we got to win 4 more. Who wins 14 games in a row? That shit just doesn't happen.
It
So
really
I feel
doesn't.
like I feel like we just kind of need to drop a game, and maybe in the process of that, we can rest our players and all that stuff as well.
Well, this is the week to
guy
do
that
it.
was talking about. Sorry, I know you got a lot of callers, so I'm just like jamming it all in. But the guy that was talking about, I don't want to give no names, but he was hating on Purdy. Like, what's not to like? I feel like he was Rich Scangarillo talking about Trey Lance. Like, you're hating. Like, there's nothing really not to like. And for him to say that, like, just ride the wave, take the upside. Like, you can see all the intangibles that Purdy has. Mm-hmm. And this is the difference. When the players talk about Trey Lance, they talk about he's smart and he's talented and all this. When they talk about Jimmy, he's a winner. We love him. When they talk about Brock and the players know, they're like, this guy, like when Bosa starts hyping you up, like, you got something. So, you know, when the players start saying that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it seems like he's winning over the locker room right now, and it's becoming his team, but it's only been 3 games. He's got to keep it going. We assume he will, but he's got to keep it going.
And that's true. And to your point about Kittle, we've lost so many draft picks over the years. I don't want to trade Kittle, and I don't even think – I almost feel like he was mocking Jimmy a little bit with that shirt because Jimmy doesn't return his phone calls, all this BS. Feels great, baby. And you're sitting on the bench rehabbing an ankle, and you see this young rookie out here winning. I think he was just – kind of, because what do you do with a guy
feels not that great, baby?
Nah, what do you do with a guy that's not good looking? Like, you can't say nothing to hurt his feelings. You got to, like, get under his skin. You got to fuck with him. Just, like, if you're going to be homies, like, he's getting all the chicks, he's getting everything. You got to, like, fuck with him. And also, I hope Brian Greasy has some minority in him because we need draft picks. So hopefully he has, like,
I don't think he does.
He should become
I don't think he does.
I know.
Sorry.
Shit.
Good call, man.
Hey, but good shit. I think I got all my points in, Grant. But I have been following you. You're a great guy. I don't follow you all the time. I love all your post-game reports. You're like a super dope antagonist, and I think the Niners need you, bro. So I'm glad you found a dope niche and you kill it. So good shit.
Thank you very much. That was very nice of you. I appreciate it. I paid him to come on the show and say all that. He's an actor. No, I'm just kidding. That was nice. Hold on. I'm going to take a few more questions, and then I'm going to get to everyone else. Bino says, that anonymous player who told Mike Silver that statement about Lance is starting to look like Kittle, in my opinion. Very interesting. Matthew Sanders says, is it definitely Josh if BP goes down in the playoffs? I think it's definitely Josh if BP goes down in the playoffs, yes. 17-0 call. What did I say about the Vikings? God. I also appreciate you. Thank you, Leroy. These last 2 guys are giving you props. You deserve it, man. That was very nice, Leroy. Thank you so much. Trey, I need a prediction right now, Grant. Do the Niners defense with the same players have a big drop-off once D'Amico leaves? Who wins the quarterback battle? I think they'll be okay without D'Amico, frankly. They could probably get Fangio, and I think Brock's putting himself in the lead for the battle. If they go to the NFC Championship game, I don't even know that they have a quarterback competition, unfortunately. As much as I like Trey, I'm scared that Shanahan won't do him justice. I think Shanahan needs a quarterback that's limited to force him to make better calls. Yeah, he hasn't done him justice so far, huh? Okay. JC, you've been waiting forever. So sorry. How you doing?
Hey, pretty good, Grant. How you doing, man?
Pretty good. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Beatty, Oregon, out in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
I got to drive to get reception.
All right.
But anyway, my call is Kyle Shanahan for close to the year. Are you freaking kidding me? He's so limited. I mean, the reason he doesn't use Trey Lance is because he can't. He sees a little piece of the field. He's not Andy Reid, who sees a whole field. You know, if you keep it a little box and it gets real complicated, he's comfortable with that. But you go beyond 10 yards from the line of scrimmage, he's lost. And he can't rotate players because he doesn't have that much coaching ability, that much play calling ability. He can't rotate in Mason because he's like, okay, CMC, and he can't change. And Trey Lance can throw the ball downfield. He's like, oh, well, I can't have that because I can't do it. Then it's going to be my fault.
We're going to need you to get the ball out on time on these short routes, Trey. Like, what?
Yeah.
What? Why did you draft him?
Yeah,
That's not his
you know,
game.
I mean,
Yeah.
I don't think Kyle drafted him. I think he got talked into it by John.
Okay.
And I think they split their picks in the draft. Kyle gets 1 through 3. And the reason they do so well afterwards is John Lynch does 4 through 7.
I would think so.
Huh?
John Lynch gets no credit, takes no credit. Kyle gets all the credit for everything.
Oh, yeah, that's why they're winning now. You don't see John Lynch. But he's the face of the franchise when they're losing.
It's true.
You know,
It's true.
Kyle, I know a lot of people like Kyle. I was in management, and there's a lot of people that take credit for stuff they don't do.
Yeah.
And that is Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, namely
I
the
am
defense.
a 49ers fan. I'm a fan since Joe Montana.
Yeah.
But I think the limiting factor of this team is Kyle Shanahan, because he's going to break everything. He doesn't
Well, here's the thing.
have...
Here's the thing. For a long time, it was Jimmy. At least we felt that way. Now he's out. Purdy's in. Everyone likes Purdy. So if this team doesn't make it all the way, it's got to be Kyle. It'll prove that he's the limiting factor, I think. Yeah. So we'll see. I tend to agree with you.
Yeah, you know, I mean, he lives on the defense, but he's an offensive coach. But he has like the crappiest right side of the line going.
Well, I mean, why is he propping up Mike McGlinchey? He's been on the team for 5. He's a shell of what he used to be. He wasn't even great before. What are they doing?
Get it.
I don't get it. Like D'Amico would not do that with a player on their defense. They're too good to have a player who's not carrying their weight anywhere in their defense, or to be in total denial about someone who's out. Kyle is in denial about his right tackle. Crazy.
Oh, well, I just don't think he knows. He just doesn't know. He's not in denial. He just
doesn't
isn't
know.
a judge of talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I think
he saw Brock Purdy the whole way. He knew it. JC, good call, man. Well, go ahead.
The last pick. They knew that.
They knew it. It was a genius plan. All right, man. I gotta go. Good call,
I got
man.
one more thing.
Go ahead.
George Kittle, I think he's just building a persona for wrestling. This might be his last year. He wants to be a wrestler.
Yeah. Do
And
you
I
think
think
he'd be would you watch him wrestle?
Huh?
Would you watch him wrestle?
I would. I'm a wrestling fan too.
He might be more entertaining as a wrestler than as a football player at this point.
Well, he's becoming entertaining as a football player for a wrestler. All right. Talk to you later, man. Have a good day.
All right. Take care, JC. That was a good call. First time commenting. Hey, mark it down. It was his first time. I liked it. Just a second. James in Belgium. It must be late. How you doing?
Great. Can you hear me okay?
I can. Yes.
Okay. Great. First of all, thanks, Grant, longtime fan of yours, and of course, longtime fan of the Niners. I went to Sierra College when the Niners were practicing at Sierra College, and so we saw Montana and Rice and the pizza place all the time. So it was kind of fun. But anyway, thanks on behalf of all of us, all Niner fans in Europe, for doing these shows at a good time, a reasonable time.
Sure.
And,
isn't it true that French fries were invented in Belgium?
Well, that's what the Belgians will tell you. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay. But it's hard to say. All right.
They do taste different, but anyway, I do like soccer, but at some point there's a limit, and so those of us Americans who need football, or American football, you keep us sane over here in Europe. So just a couple of things I just want to mention. First of all, thanks to you and your dad for keeping up the quality control and the critical thinking that is needed to keep all the fans debating on the right issues. I think to avoid revisionist history, I think if we go back, I think we all know that he wanted Mac Jones. Kyle wanted Mac Jones, and when they traded all the way up to 3, everybody went crazy, including in the building, that Mac Jones was too high, and so he ended up being forced.
He could have taken Mac Jones at 12. He could have just stayed at 12 and had Mac Jones. Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
he
that was a valid critique. Yeah.
He was forced to take among one or two or three different options, none of which included Mac Jones, and so he took Trey. But now this is one of the biggest issues is I don't know if anybody can tell you or if you recall how many games a quarterback has lasted over the past 5 years without getting injured.
Under Kyle?
Yeah, and
I think Jimmy had like a 20-game streak from 2019 to like week 2 of 2020, right? So there were 16 games, and then there were 3 playoff games, and then he got hurt freaking week 2. That's it. That's the longest it's been. That's it.
That might be the aberration. And
other than that, it seems like it's about an 8-game stretch that you got with the quarterback.
So
Bethard got beat up. Mullins got beat up. Yeah.
Yeah. So in light
Lance
of that,
got beat up. Sorry.
Yeah. So given that, Kyle should be planning for what to do if Purdy gets hurt, which
he's already hurt.
The probabilities suggest, probabilities suggest, and even if if Jimmy's healthy, if Trey somehow is healthy, I think we all know that Trey just does not fit within Kyle's system, and so that's the problem. So if Kyle had the choice between Josh, what's his name, and Trey, the backup.
Yeah. Oh, Brock Purdy.
No, Brock Purdy's backup.
Oh, Josh Johnson.
Yeah, Josh Johnson. So if Purdy goes down, and if Josh and Trey were available, he would probably go to Josh, I would think, because Trey's just doesn't fit in his system. I don't know, and Jimmy may want to stay out for his own marketing ability to, so that may be an issue. But anyway, I wanted to ask you if what happens if there is an equal record between the Vikings and the Niners?
That's a good question. Someone was asking me that. I don't even know. What is it? Hold on. There's a tiebreaker. Is it record in your division?
The division, if your division.
Well, the Niners are 8-2. The Niners are 8-2 in the NFC, and Minnesota's 6-3. So I think I could be wrong, but it's head to head, which they don't have. So I think it's conference record. So the Niners should have that.
Okay, so maybe within the NFC
I'll get back to
West.
you on that one. I'll get back to you on that one, though. I got to look that one up. Thanks, James.
Fine. Okay. All right. Take care.
Great call. Alex Rock says, trade Kittle to Barstool because that's where he'll end up anyways. Why aren't you talking about the Vikings giving us the 2? Because I'm not watching it. I'm doing a show. Is that what's happening? Trey haters led by Flav. Jimmy won't throw a 40-yard pass. Brock 40-yard pass on target, but receivers have to stop or turn around. Trey hit the 40-yard pass in stride. Picture a game with a light box. Yeah, I still like Trey Lance. I do very much. I want him to stay on the team. Grant, I went from F this dude in a suit talking about the team to damn. It's the only person telling the truth about this team. Thank you for the comment, the content. I appreciate you, man. That was nice. Daryl says, love you, Grant. If D. Ryans take head coach position next year, who will the Niners allow him to take with him? I don't know. Good question. Probably not the D-line coach, though. Rome.
Yo, what up, man?
How you doing?
Hey, 2 things real quick. Big fan, season ticket holder. I'm there every week. I see it. I'm in the crowd. I've seen you a couple times, but I heard a little bird out of the York fam basically saying, we don't give a shit about the future of the Niners. Like, we need to win now, right? The importance is to win now. We've had 2 windows in the last 10 years. right? We had one back when we went to the Super Bowl against the Ravens. Didn't work out. We have one again now. So they want to win. Whoever we win with, doesn't really matter. If that's Jimmy, if that's Trey, if that's Brock, we just want to win. Then let's figure it out. Let's figure it out. Right?
Sounds good.
Secondly, I heard Colin Cowherd say something that was pretty on point. I think the variable is Kyle Shanahan, right? When he came from Atlanta to us, it was like, what are we doing here, right? They just got blown up in the Super Bowl. And not that it was all on him, but since he's been here, every week it seems like, come into the third quarter, we're up, we have a little lead, take the foot off the gas.
Mm-hmm.
Play not to lose.
Mm-hmm.
We play not to lose.
Yeah, play to let the defense win the game, right?
We play not to lose, and it's like that works
on offense
80% of the time.
Yeah,
but not against the Chiefs.
Yeah,
not against the Eagles.
Yeah,
not against teams that have a quarterback that could take them to the promised land in the fourth down. We don't have that, right? What would our offense look like if it was a combination between what the Bills run and what we currently run?
Yeah, well, if it was more aggressive, yeah.
It's just, I think that's our biggest limiting factor moving into the playoffs. Kyle, man, he's a wizard. You know, I heard this guy say, he's like, there's a difference between being like artistic and smart, right? Anyway, love your show, bro. Appreciate you.
Thanks, Rome. Thanks for calling in. Rich Gravy, dude. I gotta have Rich Gravy on this show. You're killing me, man. Anyway, what's up, man? How you doing? That was killing me. What's up?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, look. Check it out. Adjust my camera. All right. So, NFC West champs. I'm getting congratulated at the grocery store like I did something. But, you know, I've been coaching from home like quality control. You
gotta do it.
You're the best.
Thanks,
you have to give Brandon roses. I don't care what anybody says. You're the best in the business, okay?
Appreciate you, man.
You say George Kittle, he's not good. Kyle Shanahan calls him out in the meeting. Then he goes for 4 for 93 and 2 touchdowns. I'm like, that's the George I know. That's what I want to see. That's why we're paying you all that money.
Right? Someone had to call him out. Kyle apparently wasn't willing to do it. That's what I'm here for.
That's what I like. That's what I love. So I got 7 talking points. We got the number one. We got the number one defense in the NFL. D'Amico Ryan's gone after this year, of course. Who do you think will be the replacement on the staff?
I'm guessing it's going to be Fangio. I do. Okay. I think it's going to be Fangio.
Okay. Brock Purdy, the most poised rookie I've ever seen. Like, he handles pressure. The dime to McCaffrey getting hit, and then the dime to Ayuk getting hit. I'm like, who is this guy? Where did we get him from?
It's like, oh.
GM John Lynch, GM of the year. I mean, like, you didn't like the trade for McCaffrey. I love it. Okay. He picked Brock Purdy with the last pick.
Yeah, he picked Brock Purdy.
I mean, God, the last pick in the draft. Like, come on, you get that type of quality. Even
he signed Travarius Ward.
Travarius Ward was that? I loved it. Did you see the fight?
Hey, you're right though. He should be the exact. It's either going to be him or Howie Roseman.
Yeah, definitely.
He did a good job too.
The Eagles look good too.
Yeah,
but my goodness,
John Lynch.
Look, John.
He almost left this offseason. Hold on real quick. He almost left to go work at Amazon this offseason and almost got broke off with a fat extension over there. But he was like, no, you know what? Let me just go win this Super Bowl real quick.
Look, he took a pay cut to stay with us.
Yeah, so, that's right.
John Lynch for GM of the year. You heard it here first.
Yep.
I want an open competition between Brock and Trey. Iron sharpens iron. You know, everybody wants to trade Trey. I think that's stupid. We gave up 3 first-round picks for him. He's only
to just give him away now?
Just give him up for pennies on the dollar, right?
Don't do that.
But to re-sign Debo, some people didn't think it was a good idea. I love it. Debo was just rounding in the form when he got hurt. You know, he gets in a little chunk. He's a little overweight. But when he's playing his – like, we don't have just a one-trick pony anymore to me.
You said he gets a little chunk.
Yeah,
he does. He does.
Overweight.
It's all right, though. Sorry, though. Look, who among us doesn't?
Come on. Look at me.
Yeah.
All right. I got 70. 75 million reasons why he got a little extra weight this week, okay?
It's true. It's true.
Look, I think that you've been wrong about a couple of trades. I wouldn't trade Kittle. I wouldn't trade CMC. I would have traded for CMC and the re-signing Debo. That was where I would. But quality control gets a ring if we go to the Super Bowl. We got to do that. Quality control gets a ring.
Appreciate
and I think that McGlinchey, I saw him do some pretty good run blocking last game. And we're getting 150 to 200 yards rushing every game. You know, he can't be that bad. You know, people are, oh, McGlinchey, he's horrible. Get him right here. We could do worse. I've seen some worse offensive linemen this year that we've played against, and he's not that bad.
That's true. That's true.
And then
every week the Niners go up against an offensive lineman. It's like, how is this guy
how
in the
is he
league?
even in the league?
Every week. Yeah.
So Jimmy Ward is in a contract year. He got asked to go to nickel. I just have tremendous respect for the guy.
Me too.
To be able to go and do that, give up your position to Taj Gibson, even though you're not supposed to lose your position to injury. He did. Right. And then he took it on the chin, and he's balling out. You know, we have a great defense this year. I thought we would hurt for Mosley. The Diamond Lenore has played his butt off. We have the best D-line in football. I like the Alcatraz D. You had a guy come on here and was talking about, you know, all of the stuff that you do, giving you all type of roses. So, yeah, I agree with everything he said. Thanks, I just love to see you and your dad, and I love him to beat you at every bet and get all the wine.
Kicks my ass. He's got that wisdom, man. He's got that life wisdom.
Yes. You can't beat Pops. But I just, I've covered all my points, Grant. I really appreciate you for letting me come on. I love you. I love your show. I love your dad. And you just keep doing what you're doing. Damn what the haters say.
Thanks, man. Calling anytime. That was great.
All right.
Why can't they all be as good as Rich Gravy? No, that was hilarious, kid. Everyone's been good today. I don't want to choose favorites. You're all my children on this show. Jan Evander says, funny how Trey lovers hate on Trey haters and continue to hate on can we stop Big Rooster Brock, even though he's pulling his weight and not just a game manager? His name is Purdman Jr., all right? Purdy F. Baby, please say the baby. If you don't, I won't finish. Addy says, Purdy is the only Niners quarterback this season to throw an interception and still win the game. He's a playmaker. He is a playmaker. That's what I like about him. Rico Nasty, what's up?
Yo, what's up, my boy Grant? What's up?
How you doing?
Been a while, man.
It's been so long, dog.
I got 3 points to make to you. All
right, go ahead, man.
All right, so one, I think our run game is it's not that good right now. It's like one big or two big runs. The reason why our yards are so up, Kyle needs to start running. We do all these motions, like you said, it's a dress up. We don't throw to the motion at all. No RPOs, like McDaniel does.
Yeah.
Like the RPO with a slant, you throw to the motion, you take it to the house. But Kyle doesn't do that.
Yeah, first play the Miami game, that's what they did.
Yep, Kyle doesn't want to adjust. Second, about the Trey Lance situation. You look at it, I think it's like RG3 and Kirk Cousins all over again.
Feels like it. It does, right?
Yeah, because his play calling with Trey Lance is way different than Brock Purdy or Jimmy G. I'm like, why is it like that? He has more strength in him. And then he ran RG3 into the ground. You saw when he Kirk Cousins or RG3. Kirk Cousins passed way more than RG3.
Right. Agree.
The passer too.
But what's weird is that Kyle said he didn't want to use Trey Lance that way. He's a quarterback who runs. He's not a running quarterback. Okay, but then you run him like a running quarterback. So what's going on?
That's what I'm saying. And then Shannon, I was watching Skip to Shannon yesterday. They got the nerve to call Trey Lance injury prone. When his 2 injuries came from the games, Kyle ran them to the ground. Arizona, 20 rushes.
Yeah.
Between the time.
What about Brock? Brock injured his rib in the first game he ever started, and he had to. I mean, it seems like maybe Kyle Shanahan is injury prone.
That's what it's and everybody's praising about Purdy. He's doing good and all, but I feel like the reason why everybody's this is what it would look like if we drafted Mac Jones, but that's the reason we didn't draft him because of ceiling.
Yeah, that's true.
Exactly what we drafted Mac Jones.
There's something I don't like about Mac Jones. There's something I don't like about it. As a guy, I don't think he's a leader. I think there's something kind of I don't like him. I don't know what it is. But Brock, there's something about him that I like an intangible quality that makes me like him even more than Mac Jones. I don't know what it is.
Right. He has that dog in him.
Yeah, he just seems super mature. I never got the vibe from Mac Jones that he was super mature.
4 years in college is a lot for you.
And Mac Jones didn't play that much in college. He was behind Tua. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
yeah, but physically they're almost similar quarterbacks.
Yeah.
So like, it would look very. And Mac Jones was drafted as win now, so it would look very similar. We drafted Mac Jones, and everybody was drafted. It was happy we drafted Trey Lance instead of Mac Jones because of that reason. His ceiling.
That's right.
So
Yeah.
like,
It's true. It's true.
kind of
It's true. And now you got both of them on the same team. We'll see what happens.
Is that and then
All right.
Minnesota? I don't think that. I think they're gonna choke if they make it the second seed. I don't think like if you do try to go for the second seed, that means you gotta play game for game to keep up with them and get the tiebreaker.
Yep.
And
Kirk Cousins. Yeah.
you travel there. If you do have to, it's a dome. You don't have to really prepare for the weather. So
Right. That's true.
I don't really see the big deal on that. And like I'd rather be healthy than not have to travel to Minnesota and beat up.
It's true. It's true. Yeah.
So
yeah.
that was it.
Great call, man. Thanks for calling in, Rico. It's been a minute.
All right, man.
All right, man. Later. Timothy says, I like the Purd Man of Alcatraz like the movie. The Purd Man. Yeah. Purd is the word. Yo, what's up, Salvador? You're muted. Press the little thing on your phone. There you go.
Yo,
I was
what's
just
up,
gonna sit here quietly until you realize you're on the show.
Sorry, I always look down. I'm watching the game. We're trying to get the second seed right here.
What's the score?
23-0. Looks like Minnesota just took a ball back, so I don't know.
That's pathetic. I told you, Minnesota's not going to get that 2 seed. That Niners going to get that 2 seed. And I'm excited because you know what? I don't really want to fly to Minnesota. I don't want to go. It's cold.
Well, if we get the 2 seed, it's looking real good. Hopefully, we could get 3 home games.
I don't root for the Niners to win. I root for myself to go less traveling.
Yeah, we need Cowboys to do some work for us against the Eagles in the playoffs, and then we'll get 3 home games that way. But
complain.
I think this is my first time talking to you. Long time listener, long time hater. I'm coming around to you like everybody. But I just want to give my props to you and your father.
Thanks.
Father.
All right.
Yeah, Lowell Cohn. Those Cohn zones, those are special. And one day you'll look back on those and you'll be happy. You guys had all those moments. But just I came on here because a lot of talkers earlier were talking crazy comparing Trey Lance and Purdy, but we got to just root for the team. And you can't control anything. You have your opinions, your conspiracies, but when you have a winner, and that's what Brock Purdy is, he's just winning. He's doing the things he's told and he's executing. You just got to root for that. That's what we wanted Trey Lance to do. I know the potential, the show, he looks good, but he does the right things from the play
Purdy
call.
is doing what they wanted Trey Lance to do. You got to
right.
admit it.
He does.
And just because he's smaller and doesn't throw as hard doesn't mean he's not doing what he's doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, I was a big Trey Lance fan. I was bummed when he went out for the season. I was completely content with throwing this season away once Jimmy went down, because we've seen this shit before. 2018, 2020, when you don't have a quarterback, you're gonna lose. And for some reason, that guy stepped up and he's taking control of his situation.
Agree.
But I just, from a 49er fan, I'm talking to my Niner fans, put your Trey Lance, your Brock Purdy, things aside, just root for the team. It's a one game at a time. We're going to get into the playoffs and we're going to do work. I'll be there myself at Levi's. Hopefully it's 2 more home games, but I'm going to cheer and root for my team the hardest I can.
I like that Brock Purdy thanked Trey Lance after the game for helping him develop. And I feel like Brock and Trey shouldn't hate each other. Like, neither one has staked claim to this starting job. Both guys are young. Both guys are competing for it, and they'll bring out the best in each other. So I think they should. Neither one should resent the situation. I think they should both be happy that they're on a good team with a good young guy to push them.
Yeah, and then just 10 years later, RG3, Kirk Cousins, Trey Lance, Brock Purdy. It's kind of weird, but we'll see how it works out for us. Hopefully we keep winning. Go Niners,
All right,
baby.
Salvador. Good stuff, man. Later. Unfaithful Truth says, too toxic to keep Trey. Cut our losses. Trade him. Toxic? Really? It's toxic to keep Jimmy. I don't know. Cut our losses. You think he's going to be worth less if they keep him? Trade him and GK. Fix right side of offensive line. Bring in Vet back up. Let Purdy rock out. Keeping Lance prevents him from rocking out. How do I call him the Cohn phone? LOL. It's there's a link in the description. Anoop.
Hey, what's up, Grant?
How you doing, man? What's going on?
You?
I'm okay. How are you?
I'm doing great, dude. I'm really excited. I feel like this could be it. The year Jed York gets the monkey off his back. It's been a long time coming. I was 14 years old the last time the Niners won the Super Bowl.
Wow. Wow. I was 7.
That's a long time ago, man.
7, yeah.
That's ancient history now. I got a couple of questions for you. I feel like, look, if you're trying to attack the Niners' offense, you got to attack the offensive line.
Mm-hmm.
So you got to run speed stunts maybe against Williams and Banks, and then you got to bull rush Brunskill and the Brendel and
Burford.
Lynch.
Yeah.
Burford.
Yeah.
That's what they're susceptible. But how is Kyle? I feel like offensively we're in the wrong formations. Some of the games. So we're doing really well, but is Purdy getting the protection that he needs? He's really poised. He's got that going for him. But is Kyle giving him the protection? Or are we in too many spread formations? Should we be in 12, 13, 22 formation rather than this spread 5 wide receiver type thing?
That's what Harbaugh would do. Yeah, that's what Harbaugh would do. Yeah.
That makes sense, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
I'm concerned we're going to get exploited in the playoffs by Philly or one of these other
Well, let's
teams.
see what happens this week. Next week against Washington, because that's a good D-line. We'll see. That'll be a nice little test run. Yeah.
It's a good
Because last time they faced a good D-line was the New Orleans game, and that didn't go so well. But Purdy didn't play.
Sure, absolutely. And the other question is, how do you think Kyle should change this offense to suit Brock Purdy and maximize some of his qualities that he has that Jimmy doesn't have?
I think he's done it already. I think you're seeing more throws outside, down the field and outside the numbers, and more pocket movement. I mean, he already understands those things that Purdy does well. I think we've seen actually Kyle do a much better job of tailoring an offense to Purdy than to Lance. Much better job.
100%. 100%. If they would go deep a little bit more, I think they have done that already. They got a couple of good passes. But if they do that more, I wasn't that happy with the Seattle game plan. I thought it was too conservative. And I feel like Kyle tightens up sometimes in the big games when he knows that he's going to win something or something's on the line. Too many runs with McCaffrey up the middle.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah. I know. All right, Anoop. Good to see you, man. Take care.
See you,
David Butler says the Colts are doing us a big favor right now. That's amazing. Dustin, you've been waiting for like an hour, man. How you doing?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I'm up in up north of Seattle, actually.
Oh, nice.
In enemy territory.
I was just there yesterday, dude.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. It was fun to watch silence at my coworkers when I got to work. Nobody talked about the game after that. Like,
that's funny.
Yes. That's funny. Why is everybody upset? Oh no, my first question is, like, I grew up as a Niner fan, remembering like 300 yards passing. The Niners would carve defenses. Quarterbacks would carve defenses up. Steve Young, Joe Montana. I was a little young, but like Jeff Garcia, they'd pass all over these defenses. Now you don't 180 yards of passing, and they're considered quarterback play elite.
Yeah.
Like, why can't we ever hit a receiver in stride, actually put up numbers, drive from start to finish?
Because of Kyle's offense. What we grew up on was the West Coast offense, which was a precise drop back passing game where guy was under center and all of his drops would time up with the routes and the precision. It was like, you don't just throw a slant. It's, you got to throw it out in front and hit him in the hands between here and here. It was like, there was a whole precision to the passing game that isn't here with Kyle. Like, Kyle's more about the running game, and his passing game is just kind of line up in the shotgun, get the ball, shuffle a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like none of that precision that we grew up is really even in the league anymore. That stuff is gone.
So when I remember even like 2019 seeing Jimmy pass and thinking, this guy doesn't have it. I remember getting in an argument with like all of my friends from high school because they were like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "This guy doesn't hit anybody where he's supposed to."
Right.
Like, it's always behind them. They have to reach for it. They get lit up.
Yeah.
I saw Trey Lance throw a slant to Deebo Samuel in stride, and he just took off. Like, oh my God, that's what we could do. Why is everybody hating on that? Like, why is nobody seeing that that's the potential, that that's what we can get back to? We can actually hit people down the field in stride and score touchdowns on 1-2 play drives.
Yeah. It's not going to happen, man. This is a run-first team as long as Kyle's here. That's why a lot of people looking at Kyle like, are you the offensive coach we want? Because to me, in Arizona, he sold himself as a guy who could light up the scoreboard and throw the ball around. But maybe that's not who he is. Maybe that's not who he is at all. I don't know what his deal is, but his offense has been like inconsistent at best for the last 5 years. So I don't know.
The other question I was had, do you think if we do pick Vic Fangio as the new defensive coordinator, assuming that D'Amico Ryan's league, do you think he's going to change back to a 3-4 defense like it was during the Harbaugh era?
I don't know. They'd have to work that out. Maybe. I don't know. But they also have like this why would you change what defense that's working? It feels like Fangio might want to stick with what's working.
I think maybe if you like a stand up Nick Bosa and move him into space, he might be able to do something different or get a little bit different looks. But then you'd have to drop him in coverage, and that's not what he does.
You'd have to change so much about the defense. I don't see why you need to do it. The defense has been together for a while, been doing the same thing. I don't know. It's a good question. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I feel like Fangio could probably work it out. He's a smart guy.
Yeah. Other than that, that's really all I got. I mean, I've been watching you for a while now, man. You always keep it real. You piss players off, which is fun to watch, but also that you, I mean, critical thinking, like one of the other callers said, people just want to be fans and want to not think about what they're seeing. But I like that you actually, when we lose a game, when something goes wrong, when somebody gets hurt, you're asking, why did this happen? And nobody really else does that.
I think that's the job. That's what I thought. Anyway, Dustin, good stuff, man. Later.
All right. Hey.
Sober Life says, yo, the NBA limits players for superstars for playoffs. Is that what we should do with our guys the next 3 weeks? Yeah, absolutely. A bunch of people are trying to come in at the end. This show's like 41 minutes overtime. I got to end the show in a second. I'm going to take like 2 more calls, but I can't. I've never been able to take everyone's call ever, so I'm so sorry if I don't get to you. Touchdown, Colts 30-0. That's hilarious. Real room service. What's up?
Hey, my guy, Grant.
How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, man. Hey, first off, of course, thank you again for having me on. It's been a little minute. And I just wanted to talk about Trey, though, for real. Like, a lot of people are really getting on him. And I'm just not really understanding how, because he didn't have the same opportunity that Purdy is having right now. He never had CMC. He barely even really had George Kittle. So I'm just trying to figure out why people think Purdy if he can make all these passes that he's making now, you don't think Trey can pull off the same thing?
Yeah.
Because I'm seeing Purdy make good plays. He's poised in the pocket and everything like that. But I've seen literally Trey do these exact same things.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just think he can help our offense go to a different level, like actually using Danny Gray.
Yeah, I agree. I would say don't make any decisions right now. Just live in the moment. Enjoy what Brock Purdy's doing since he's the only option. You don't have a choice. Right. It's his time. And assess things in the offseason. I mean, do not trade Trey Lance. Keep him around. He'll get his opportunity. And this will play out. Like, this will shake itself out, the way I look at it. It should.
Yeah. And on top of that, every one of our quarterbacks gets injured anyway. So
you need him. You probably should bring in a third guy, too.
Probably should. I'm totally open to a quarterback battle. You know, Brock's doing his thing right now. He's doing what Kyle's asking him to do. So that's fine. But
what I like about Brock is he's a really good game manager. And it's like, Jimmy, like, dude, could you just manage the damn game? And it was like, no, I can't do that. Brock can manage the game. I like that.
Jimmy seems like he needs somebody to hold his hand and tell him exactly what to do, exactly what to throw all the time. It's just
that moment when Jimmy. Brock on 4th and 7 was like, no, let's hurry up to the line of scrimmage, and he drew that guy offside. I was like, wow.
Complete command.
Complete command. You got something to be said for that. There's something to be said for that. Because the thing is, Joe Montana was never the most gifted quarterback, but he had complete command of Bill Walsh's offense.
Nor did he have like the strongest arm ever either.
No, he didn't. He
didn't have the strongest arm ever, but he was super accurate. And
from what I heard,
command, like you said.
Well, I'm not going to get into it, but yeah, you're right. You're right. Absolutely.
Yep.
All right, man.
Yeah, but
good call.
Pretty much that's all I wanted to say. I just want to make sure the Trey haters just calm down a little bit. Let's just
they get
wait a
worked
little
up.
bit, enjoy the season, and then let's see what happens in the offseason.
They get worked up. All right, man. Good call. Good to see you,
man. Yeah.
All right, later. John Wayne says some years we obviously need 3 or even 4 good serviceable quarterbacks. Why cut any good ones? Yeah, man. Bring in more. If you can draft guys like Brock Purdy, do it again. Justin Jefferson went down and pick 6, 30-0 Indy. Wow, Indy. Wow. Trey has no experience. He has shown no leadership. Wow, he's shown no leadership? Is that true? I would disagree with. All right, this is the last call of the day. I'm sorry for all the people in here that I didn't get to. There's a ton of people in here. I'm so sorry. But Keith Murphy is the last call of the day. What's up, Keith? You're muted. Just press the little mute thing on your thing. You got it. There you go.
What's up, brother?
What's up? How you doing?
I think it's time. I've seen a lot of Drake Greenlaw slander throughout the year by numerous people. I think it's time that y'all come up off that. And we got to owe him apology, send him his flowers because he's playing like a first team all pro. I don't know. I think it's the last 5 or 6 games. He either got a pick or forced fumble, something like that. He's playing out of his mind, and he's caught a lot of slack in 49er YouTube or social media spaces.
A lot of people decided he wasn't that good, but really he's phenomenal. He's phenomenal.
He's playing at a Fred Warner level to me.
He might be better.
I mean, he attacks the ball. I mean, and the funny part when he asked Tom Brady to sign his football, so we picked him off.
Legendary.
And then I got one more thing that was just with Purdy. When you're talking about Joe Montana a minute ago, just having complete command, you know what I thought about him? You remember that Dallas playoff game last year? We could have iced the game on that 3rd or 4th and 1, and Jimmy
messed up the quarterback sneak.
Yes, and
he messed up the quarterback sneak.
I think he hiked the ball while somebody was in motion or something. Then the other day they showed Purdy. Ray McLeod didn't know where to be lined up, and he was like going in motion. Then he was gonna go back because he realized who was on the ball, off the ball, and Purdy just said, "No, just stay there, chill." Then he hiked the ball. I was like, "Damn." If that was Jimmy, that would have been an illegal procedure or whatever they call it on offense. Like, he would not have seen that detail. And so that lets me know kid is dialed in, kid's intelligent, kid does film study. So to your point, I don't want to compare Trey and Brock yet. Just let the season play out. We'll get to all that stuff in the offseason. I think we are going to get the number 2 seed, and hopefully we get to play Minnesota early. They're going to be easy pickings coming to playoffs.
Yeah, they're falling apart. Keith, great to see you, man.
Hey, man, take it easy.
Take care. All right, guys, that's the show. Have a great day, and I'll be back when you least expect it.